In this lesson, we'll be painting this forest in late autumn when most of the leaves have fallen off and new ones are starting to grow. It's done in acrylic and oil paint. First we tint the canvas with acrylic and then we can add our oil paint. The painting is done using the Tim Packer method and it's quite effective, and I found it relaxing too. First, I divide the canvas up into 8 equal grids and place 8 grids on my reference sheet. You can find this on our website. This isn't compulsory, but because I'm drawing the trees in directly with blacks, any wrong placement would be difficult to fix. We can then tint the canvas a crimson darkened with a touch of phthalo blue. This is the acrylic. This will of course be painted over, but it will provide some warmth to the colours laid on top, and there won't be any white showing. Use the largest brush you have for this and let it dry. Next we can paint the trees in with lamp black. Thin the paint with a little water so that it flows nicely. You can refer to the printout if you require some guidance. The rule is to remember not to arrange the trees in too much of a structured fashion. Change up the angles and the thickness of each tree. Use a large flat brush to lay in the tree trunks, and to create the finer branches, the brush can be used on its side. Stay tuned and don't miss a video from us. Subscribe and leave a comment below with what you'd like us to create next. We'd love to hear from you. Once the trees are in, we can lay in the leaves over the trees and into the forest floor. For the forest floor and leaves, I squeeze out some medium yellow, orange yellow, vermilion, lemon yellow, light green, sap green and some titanium white to lighten the colours with when required. The colours are all blended into a transition and the white is blended to the edge. This will give us a whole heap of differing tones. To mark out where the forest floor is to lie, we can draw in a line with white charcoal, and this can be removed later. After the leaves are all in, we can paint in the forest floor, with the dominant colour being sap green lightened with some lemon yellow. Vary the strength of the green and add in different tones to add interest. Remember to paint in between the trees. Once the forest floor is in, we can add the leaves into the foreground. Because we are depicting an autumn scene, the colours will be yellows to oranges with some greens as well. These leaves can go over the trees. The leaves can be created with a dabbing motion using a filbert. Don't clean your brush in between colours. This way the colours will mix naturally and you will have a broad range of subtle tones. Sporadically lay the leaves over the trees. We can then paint the leaves in between the trees. This will suggest that there is foliage in the background behind the trees as well. Remember to make these leaves a little bit smaller by using a smaller filbert. The sun is low in the sky and just peeking through the trees, creating a hot spot. To suggest this, draw a circle in between some trees. Then paint that circle in with titanium white. Then paint a light yellow circle around the white followed by an orange. Any branches or stumps can be scumbled with yellow to enhance the glow even more. Painting in the sky is the next step and the most laborious. In this stage, we must paint in the negative shapes between the branches and around the leaves, or in other words, everywhere there is that crimson underpainting. So squeeze out some lemon yellow, orange yellow, vermilion, violet, and phthalo blue. Lay a bead of titanium white beside these colours and blend the colours into the white, leaving the colour pure at the top. We can now radiate out from that sun hotspot. First with the lemon yellow mixed with white, then to orange mixed with white, to vermilion mixed with white, to violet mixed with white, blending to phthalo blue. You get the idea. So we slowly transition the colours as you go. As I said, this is the laborious stage of the project, but if you just relax and accept that it's not going to happen quickly, it's actually quite mindful. If you like this project, we've got lots more on our website. Jump online to check out our Create blog and sign up with Creative Connection to get lessons, inspo, tips and more sent directly to your inbox. Staying inspired doesn't have to cost a cent. Well, the background stage is finally in and we can grab a cup of tea to congratulate ourselves and to ponder the next stage, which is rendering the trees. Because at the moment, they all look flat and at the same point of distance. Once we can render them, the trees will look cylindrical and we can suggest that some are in the background and some are in the foreground. So let's mix up some paint and let's get into the next stage. So squeeze out some titanium white, a touch of raw umber and a touch of violet and create a very light mix and scumble it onto the trees. Scumble is a funny term that basically means to charge a brush with a little colour, wipe the excess off and lightly drag it over the underlayer. This gives a subtle look to the coat. The final step is to add some shadows with black. Thanks for watching. We hope you're inspired to create a project like this. It doesn't have to be this big, or it could be even larger. Whatever you do, we'd love to see it.